NewsNation political contributor A. Scott Bolden is with us, attorney and former chairman of the DNC Democratic Party. Welcome to you this morning. His leadership is going to come under scrutiny. He'll get some tough questions from Democrats, likely from a few Republicans. Let's start with the Kirk assassination investigation and that early post on social media that a suspect was in custody. How much of a focus do you think that will be to start things off this morning?
Well, that'll get some focus. I can tell you, as a former prosecutor from New York, I was really surprised that they had come out publicly and indicated that the suspect had been arrested. They didn't even call him a suspect. They said the person who committed this assassination was in custody well before they had cross-referenced and been able to confirm DNA and all the things you do along the way to make sure you have the right person. That's disappointing, but it's misleading. But more importantly, it can damage the investigation because the real killer, who was still out there, could be moving from state to state, could have some relief and affect how that killer moves and operates to avoid being caught. That statement alone. It's unusual also because if you look at the history of the FBI and FBI directors, they're not really chasing social media. They're not chasing headlines. You can be transparent without compromising an investigation. And I really think he missed the mark this time on this large investigation, complex investigation, and this assassination on Charlie Kirk.
Other topics that will likely come up this morning, the Epstein files. He had originally said he thought the files should be released. He seems to have, as of late, changed his tune a little bit about what should be released or if, in fact, there's anything to be released. What do you expect the questions to be on this matter?
Well, he'll be cross-examined on his credibility, on whether exists a client list or not. You know, when you're a social media influencer and political commentator and you're not in that position, I got it. You only know so much, but he's a former national security official as well. And so he knows better. And so if he had reliable information, saw this information, knew of this information existed on reliable sources, then where are the documents? They released over 330,000 documents that have been made public already. Where are the non-public documents that have been released that should be released? Because you said you're about transparency. And before you took the position, you said they were there and it was going to be released. Now you get into the FBI office, and he and Pam Bondi, who both made substantive statements while they were in office and before they were in office, to release these documents. Now there's nothing there to see. And then the president says it's a hoax. Well, whenever I hear the president say it's a hoax, I emotionally and mentally dig deeper, because that's projecting, if you will. There's probably something there. That's the real question. That's why this story won't go away, Marnie, because of the prior statements, but also what's there? Because this administration releases everything. JFK, RFK files, Martin Luther King files, and this is the only case that I can see of high-profile nature where they are holding back. So people presume there's something there.
All right, we'll dip into the hearing as it gets underway here shortly. A. Scott Bolden, thank you as always.